everything is judged by its appearance. What is unseen counts for nothing.
What the hell? Has he finally cracked?
Now, hear me out. There is a reason why Xenoblade 2 is by far the highest selling game in the series, and why it is the most hated. 2.7 million all the way back in 2023, compared to only 1.8 million for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Nintendo, as with all businesses, has a particular demographic that they cater to. Certain style of games always perform better than others. Did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sell more because it is the better game compared to 1 and 3? That the early release date maybe gave it more eyeballs over these 67 years? Well, it is a possibility, I guess, and personally I do consider certain aspects of Xenoblade 2 to be an absolute masterpiece, exceeding both 1 and 3, but as a package, I would not say that the extra million sales has anything to do with its quality, release date, or narrative substance. It is a common mistake to imagine that your appearance should not be controversial, that to be attacked is somehow bad. Nothing could be further from the truth. These big boy influencers like Videogamedunkey, who boasts 8.1 million views, which is literally how much Xenoblade as a trilogy sold in the first place, is dunking on Xenoblade 2, mixed with some light-hearted jokes in this video.
Now place your hand on my chest.
Surely, some people were repelled by this mischaracterization, and Takashi-san lost some potential new players in this process who might be interested if they got a better introduction. But Dunkey was still very influential in bringing the Xenoblade as a brand into the eyes of millions of people who never knew what it was. People who were just playing their Trails games, Legend of Heroes, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, but did not know what Xenoblade was to begin with. Who knows, after seeing Dunkey's video, maybe YouTube recommended a Xenoblade 1 video 2 weeks later. They liked what they've seen and purchased the game soon after. Boom, a new blood to the Xenoblade fandom. When it comes to making a name for yourself in such a competitive environment to grow, you have to understand how attraction works. Obviously, nothing is for certain. Luck plays a factor, surely, but to avoid being a flash in the pan, you must not discriminate between different types of attention. In the end, every kind will work. Believe it or not, despite working under Nintendo, Monolith Soft is an underdog, working under a limited budget that can't rival the Naughty Dogs and Santa Monicas of the world. You have only about 50 people, after all, working on this incredibly ambitious JRPG, and it is to follow up the failure that is Wii U, and consequently the low sales of Xenoblade X. Now that is a lot of pressure. No wonder then Monolith Soft was understaffed and distracted, helping Nintendo with other games, explaining the need to outsource so much. Point blank, Nintendo did not have a lot of faith in Xenoblade as a brand before the second game. However much we love Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on the Wii, it wouldn't even exist if not for Operation Rainfall. Do not imagine that to create an air of mystery, you have to be grand and awe-inspiring. Mystery that is woven into your day-to-day demeanor and is subtle has that much power to fascinate and attract attention. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the surface looks like any other average JRPG that shows a lot of skin, clearly catering towards young male adults. It has a light-hearted, high contrast and colorful tone, which again looks familiar, basic, and to a degree surface level, but that's not inherently a bad thing. The sexualization and the objectification in Xenoblade 2 stands in stark contrast to the darkness and depth that resides in its story and characters. Something that we've talked about in the Jin analysis, to the point where you would be hard-pressed to find a more serious and dark modern JRPG right now with the exception of maybe, you guessed it, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But see, this actually makes no sense. No one picks up Xenoblade 2 expecting a story like this, expecting such stellar world building like this. Amalthus's mother here is raped and killed, for crying out loud. This is not your typical silver-approved Nintendo game. The writing, while comedic at times, knows when to stop being a goody two-shoes. It is an unpredictable game, to say the least. I guess, as I like to say, you come to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the allure of Pyra's watermelons, but stay because of the combat, story, characters, and pacing. As much as this game gets a lot of hate by incompetent mischaracterizations, it similarly gets a lot of love. Many people's favorite in the trilogy, in fact. Rex and Pyra's adventure to the fabled land of Elysium touched a lot of people's hearts, myself included. As I rolled the credits for the first time, I was no longer sure if I liked Xenoblade 1 or 2 better. Need I remind you, Xenoblade 1 was my favorite game of all time at that point, so it is a huge praise. And you know what? I think I yapped for more than enough. Check out this cutscene edit I've made for the alpha analysis. This is, in my humble opinion, what Xenoblade 2 is all about.
Just go, Rex! You're gonna pay for this! So fucked up!
No. We have to go.
It's so strange. I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore.
Hobby is hurt to see Rex like this.
They all said I... But now you too. Did I go wrong somewhere?
We wanted to go to Elysium, but the reason why we wanted to go there was to beg our father to let us die. For the sake of the world, abandon us!
How's your injuries? You're really strong. You really think I can just stand by like this and watch someone I love suffer?
I failed you. Is this all I am? Husk. Go ahead and take it!
Pyra! Pyra! I'm so sorry. Pyra. Mithra. We made it this far, but...
Rex.
Rex! Nia.
Got it.
Dromark, take care of Pyra.
Understood. What's this? I thought you'd start bawling and charge at me. What a big boy.
Stupid.
Huh?
I was stupid. I didn't understand Pyra and Mithra's feelings. Though we were destined to follow different paths, I tried to walk together. I walked in the shadow of the Aegis's light. blindly walking my own path, while she walked alone.
What are you blathering about?
So, I might be stupid, but I've made a decision.
Oh, what have you decided? You've come all this way. I'll hear you out.
It's obvious. I'll crush you into oblivion and take Pyra and Mithra to Elysium.
Crush us? Me and Jin? You couldn't take Jin on your own. And on top of that, I've regained control of all my Aegis powers. Not to mention the artifices. You're doomed, boy.
I'm not.
That thing is just a used-up shell. You can't rely on it to save you, boy.
I now understand what Pyra and Mithra wanted. And I understand what I have to do to make it happen. What it means to be driver and blade.
Have you forgotten the Aegis's power? That power. Is it not the Aegis's power to erase worthless things from existence? Is that not the Architect's very will?
Pyra and Mithra aren't like that.
I just realized. I know why Malos is so intent on scouring the world. It's you, Amalthus. Malos has become tainted by your influence.
So what if he has? What's the problem? You've had your little trip around Old Rest. You've witnessed the state of Moritha. Mankind will never change, no matter how many millennia pass.
You're the one who won't change. That's exactly why you hate those who try to.
What I'm trying to say is that after you experience that masterpiece, no one gives a flying fuck, at least I don't, about Dahlia or how Pyra shows a little bit too much skin on her back. Fun fact, there is a lore explanation for that. Since Pyra is basically Mithra, the other half, one part of the armor is missing. The back part, obviously. Takahashi-san did that intentionally to preserve internal consistency due to lore-related
Now place your hand on my chest.
What?
There's an art to knowing when to draw notice and when to withdraw. There are times when the need for attention must be deferred, when scandal and notoriety are the last things you want. Considering Xenoblade 2 is still the highest selling and the most profitable game on Monolith Soft's catalog, I don't think it makes sense to look at this game as the black sheep in the series per se. Because the fact of the matter is that I recently replayed the game and I was profoundly impressed by it. Realized so many things that just flew over my head my first playthrough. Just like Xenoblade 3 and 1, you can go deeper into Xenoblade 2 and mine so much gold from it. That is kinda what we're doing on this channel. And if you haven't for some reason didn't play Xenoblade 2 due to Dunkey over here and clicked on this video, I think this is your justification. Nintendo Switch 2 is on the horizon with a fire price tag, just like our Fire Girl. Whether the game gets an upgrade or not, surely the resolution and the FPS will be stable in the worst case scenario. I think this is the perfect time to give this underrated masterpiece a chance.